Let us start without any delay. Welcome to Leader Lifestyle Hub, a unique place for digital leaders to grow and enhance every day. We are on the mission to transform billion leaders to grow from the help of books and book summaries. In this year, we have set the target of completing 200 book summaries over the year. And then book number that we are here on the today is book number 62. The name of the book that we have today is You Are Not Your Brain, written by Jeffrey M. Schwartz. Let us see what does that book conveys us in terms of science and technology. Let us see the targeted audience before going further. The context of this book summary is simple. We will be reading the blog summary as well as we will summarize it in the help of mind map. Let us see the targeted audience of this book, whether this book is for you or not. The 21-year-old smoker who picked up this habit before knowing about its harmfulness and now he wants to change. Those who are having the bad habits and wants to transform into the good habits. The 34-year-old recent graduate with a curiosity for science. Those who has the curiosity towards science and technology. And the third category is anyone who struggles with overthinking the things. If you are overthinking, then this book will help you to overcome that. Let us see the synopsis. You Are Not Your Brain educates you about the science behind the bad habits and breaking them, giving you an actionable 4-step framework you can use to stop listening to your brain's deceptive messages. Remember that there is a 4-step framework that we are going to give you from this book. And let us see what we can take it from there. Let us listen from the author, Jeffrey M. Schwartz. Your mind is your biggest ally. Your mind is your biggest ally. I recommend you to take it as a digital note. After something that argued the case for mindlessness yesterday, I am back to the opposite end of the spectrum again. Published in 2012, You Are Not Your Brain is a psychiatrist's take on how to break bad habits. You might be heard about atomic habits, how to build and how to break it. Let us see the different angle of the breaking bad habits. Jeffrey Schwartz works at the UCLA School of Medicine, focusing mainly on people with OCD. Generally, we call it as a OCD disease. The OCD disease is nothing but obsessive compulsive disorder. Remember that OCD stands for obsessive compulsive disorder. Published in 2011, his latest book combines the newest research around neuroplasticity, a term you are about to learn more about neuroplasticity, with his already known as a 4-step framework. The terminology this book uses is brilliant. I am glad Blinkist picked up on it in the summary. If you are into science, you will love this. You can find out this book summary in the Blinkist as well. Even if not, everything is explained simply enough to understand the ideas behind it. And while the 4-step framework is not groundbreaking, it works. I knew the Hebb's law, but the quantum genome effect was the big news. We are going to learn 2 more new laws, which is nothing but Hebb's law and the quantum genome effect. I feel well informed, and the summary does a perfect job at giving you enough to know whether you want to get a copy of You Are Not Your Brain or not. Let us see the top 3 lessons. Here are my 3 main takeaways. Self-directed neuroplasticity is your go-to weapon to change your habits. The second powerful lessons are Hebb's law, and the quantum genome effect. Let us see the third lesson. There are 4 steps you can take to break a bad habit. Let us go. Lesson number 1. To change your habits, use self-directed neuroplasticity. How cool does that sound? To change your habits, use self-directed neuroplasticity. Almost like a weapon from the Star Wars. 7. But what the hell is it? If you break down the term, it comes down to this. It comes down to this. Self-directed means you exert yourself. You exert neuroplasticity on yourself. So you are the one who is using it and who is it being used on. Let us break the word neuroplasticity. Neuro stands for your neurons or nerve cells in your brain, which are the pathways where the feelings and thoughts flow. Neuro stands for neurons or nerve cells in your brain. The second word, plasticity, means something is like plastic. It is firm initially, but can be formed and changed by using the right tools. Let's pull it all together. You can change the pathways in your own brain, and you can do it by yourself. You don't need to go for the doctor for that. So that is the powerful word, self-directed neuroplasticity. You can use the right tools to change the neurons or nerve cells in your brain by directing yourself. This means even if you are stuck with a couple of bad habits right now, suppose you might be having a binge eating or lot of consumption of sugar, whatever it may be. You are stuck with a couple of bad habits right now. Whatever the bad habits you have, you can change them. Just because your brain is wired in a certain way does not mean that this wiring defines you. But coming to conclusion that you are not your brain, you can start changing the physical structure inside it so that it works more in your favor and less against you. This is what happens when you hear stories like the one of the Christopher Reeve, famous Superman actor, who changed his mindset after becoming paralyzed until eventually moving again. Let me repeat this. When you hear the stories like one of the Christopher Reeve, famous Superman actor, who changed his mindset after becoming a paralyzed until eventually moving again. Note, I have explained the concept of neuroplasticity here, including a great video and a little device to help you remember it later on. I'll give you the video in the link over there. Let us see the lesson number 2. Hebb's law and quantum Geno effect. So how do you start to direct some neuroplasticity at yourself? We have discussed about self-directed neuroplasticity, right? So how do you do that? Let us see how to do that with the help of 2 powerful lessons. By learning about 2 more cool concepts with funky names, which is nothing but Hebb's law and quantum Geno effect. Number 1 is called Hebb's law, and it is summed up in one beautiful rhyme. Neurons that fire together, wire together. Write down on the paper or digital notes. Neurons that fire together, wire together. Let us keep hydrated yourself, drink water. Neurons that fire together, wire together. The more often one of the neural pathways in your brain is used, the stronger it gets. Means the more you use, it becomes stronger. Repetition makes that neurons stronger. Neurons that fire together, wire together. Let us take an example. Let us say you have a new job and you have to catch the bus every morning at 8 a.m. to make it there on time. You are doing fine for the first week, but on the Tuesday in second week, you arrive at 8:01 a.m. and miss the bus. This causes you stress and anxiety because you will be late and might get yelled at in the office. While you are waiting for the next bus, you have a cigarette to combat the stress, and it helps. The nicotine and activity give you a sense of relief and calms you down. Now you have forged a new pathway in your brain that links stress from missing the bus to relieve a cigarette offers. This is then reinforced with every time you miss the bus and have a cigarette again. What was your one-time thing becoming a habit, and the quick fix becomes a permanent painful problem, which is called Hebb's law. The neurons fire together, wire together. So never ever try to burst your stress with the help of bad habits. Let us see the second concept. Second concept is called a quantum Zeno effect. Based on the ancient Greek philosopher Zeno's arrow paradox, this important notion from quantum physics says that a system can be frozen in its state if continuously observed. I'm repeating again. A system can be frozen in its state if continuously observed. What does that have to do with your brain? If you are mindful of your bad behavior and observe it as it happens often enough, it will stop Hebb's law in its tracks and give you enough time to counteract it. Then by consciously changing your thoughts and behavior, you can rewire your brain with a better habit. So these two lessons are very important, Hebb's law and quantum Zeno effect. In the Hebb's law, what we say is neurons fire together, wire together. Whereas in the quantum Zeno effect says that if you continuously observe the neurons that fired, it will be frozen in its state. Means observation is the key for killing the bad habits, or changing your brain, or rewiring your brain with a better habit. Let us see the 4-step framework to break a bad habit. I recommend you to take digital notes. What are the 4 steps to break a bad habit? Lesson number 3. As much as I love this, enough with the scientific mumbo jumbo. Let's get into the action part. Many people says that action theories are more powerful, but in my case, I prefer actions are more powerful. Let us see the 4-step framework which is the main part of this book and summary. So I will only touch on it briefly. 4-step framework. Step number 1, to be aware of your negative thoughts as they occur. This requires mindfulness, which you can learn through meditation. For example, meditation, yoga, or exercise, whatever it is. Practice some exercise of body. As yesterday Sony says that body needs to be moved, mind should be calm. So how to do that? By the help of meditation or exercises. Aware of your negative thoughts as they occur is the step number 1. Second step is to relabel those negative thoughts. You have to alienate them to draw a line between you and your brain. I like James Altucher's take on this. Just label your thoughts into one of 2 categories. Is that thought useful, or is that thought not useful? Just relabel your negative thoughts. And the step number 3 is to refocus your attention on a positive activity like writing, talking a walk, or walking while talking, or calling a friend, to show you can proceed as a normal, even when the bad thoughts show up. So refocus your attention on a positive activity. Let us see the step number 4. Step number 4 is to revalue your situation from a loving and caring perspective to eventually change your beliefs about yourself. Sometimes negative thoughts comes to you, you might get into that, and after, it is completely natural, but how you treat them, how your belief is depending after the post scenario is most important. So revalue your situation from a loving and caring perspective. So I'm repeating the 4 steps again. Be aware of your negative thoughts with the help of exercise or meditation. Relabel your thoughts as useful or not useful. Refocus your attention on a positive activity. revalue your situation from a loving and caring perspective. Let us see the mind map where we can learn the same things in different format. Let me share my mind map. So I hope so. Everything is clear. We have learned powerful 3 lessons. One is Hebb's law, and then one is quantum Geno effect. 4 steps to break a bad habit. Let us see the top 3 lessons again. Self-directed neuroplasticity. Let us repeat the same terminology. Self-directed neuroplasticity. Neuro means your neurons or nerve cells which is inside in your brain. Plasticity means you can use the right tools to convert that. It's something like a plastic. How you are using the plastic bottle, plastic covers, and lots of things we are using, right? In the same way, plasticity means we can use the tools to combine the neurons or nerve cells. That is called neuroplasticity. And generally, it will happen naturally. But in this book, it is saying that you can direct them. You self-directed neuroplasticity. So you can direct your neuroplasticity, which is your go-to weapon to change your habit. If you want to change your bad habits, then you can use this powerful technique called self-directed neuroplasticity. We have seen the Hebb's law and the quantum Geno effect in this powerful book. Hebb's law says that neurons that fire together wire together. If you repeat the patterns of few thoughts or few actions, that will help in becoming a bad habit. So try to utilize the neuroplasticity in a positive manner instead of making it a increasing in your bad habits. In that, we have seen one example. As you are getting new job, and if you went for the bus little late, you will able to light up the cigar, and you will able to release the stress and anxiety. For that moment, it is completely fine, but later on that affects into the long-term habits. So small changes in your actions will decides your bad habits to good habits. Let us see the quantum Geno effect, what we have seen. A system can be frozen in its state if continuously observed. So continuous observation is required for that particular activity or thoughts. That is what the powerful book lessons says, that you're not your brain says that you need to continuously observe on your one habit that you are forming or one habit that you are chasing to resolve. Then we have seen the 4-step framework you can take as an action step to break a bad habit. If you have any bad habit and if you want to break that habit, just follow 4 steps. Be aware of your negative thoughts. How to do that? With the help of meditation, exercise, or any activity, chanting activity or reading activity, something you can come on your awareness with the help of mindfulness activities. Let us see the second step. Relabel your thoughts, whether your thought is useful or not useful. I term it as a, is it worthy or useless? You can term your own thoughts in any terminology. I have identified that this thought is worthy or is this thought is useless. Once you find it is worthy, refocus on your negative thoughts on a positive activity. So if you are having still negative thoughts coming up into that, try to refocus on the positive activity, which is like writing, talking, or playing game. So that how you can refocus your brain on a positive activity. And the 4th step that you need to do is revalue your situation. Change your beliefs once that habit perform. So sometimes you might feel guilty about your habits or your activity. Change that your beliefs into positive belief and play it as a constructive way rather than destructive way. So take it as a positive manner. So these are the 4 steps: awareness, relabel, refocus, revalue. Awareness, relabel, refocus, revalue. If you follow this 4-step process, eventually you will overcome your bad habits, as well as follow these 2 things also. Continuously observe on your system so that it will be frozen and fade away after some part of time. Thank you so much. Let me unmute you all. Share your one powerful quotation that you learned yesterday, or share your one experience or one lesson that you learned from this powerful summary. Sony, over to you. Sony, unmute yourself.
Oh, thank you. I was talking without unmuting myself.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's quite a new thought for me that neurons which fire together, link together. I need to say it's something I need to more ponder on that.
Okay.
And I like this idea of reforming your habit and the steps given for it. So
Okay.
know what are your trigger points, what are your negative thoughts, where are you losing yourself. It's worthwhile to make a note of it. And then why that happened, that did I uselessly accepted it or thought over it, or is it useful or not? Is it worthy of me or not?
Yes.
Going to serve me or not? I think that's a question to be asked. And then I think it's time, then sit quietly and test it, whether you should have it or not have it. If have it, how you can put it in action. If it is negative, how you can turn it around with your belief system and make it in a way which can actually serve you.
Yes.
What has to be discarded, discard. What has to be kept, kept.
Yes.
And I think this is kind of a cleaning system every day to be done, how we do for our house. Throw out trash. We bring new things. We get new thoughts. We cannot be away from it. So every day that cleaning before going to bed, relabeling your experiences so that it serves you and becomes your guiding light for the journey ahead. I think that is what I'm thinking.
Great.
And treat yourself with kindness. Yes, you did a mistake. It's fine. Be kind and caring to yourself. What you can do best in that moment is that relabel, get a right belief system and move ahead.
Wonderful.
Not repeat that again.
Superb. Yeah. I want to share one quotation that I love to share. The best way to get started is quit talking and begin doing. This was said by Walt Disney. The best way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. Become an action oriented so that you will have the journey and you will have the experience and it will lead you to excellence. Okay. So begin doing whatever you have learned, try to implement in your life so that it will change your life for the better. Okay. Ravi Kiran, sorry, any quotation that you want to share?
Okay. So questions unlock the knowing that already exists within your heart.
Wow.
Please repeat.
Questions unlock what exists in your heart.
Yeah, questions unlock the knowing that already exists within your heart.
But asking right questions is another toughest job.
Yeah, so asking the right question will surface the answer in the right time.
Wonderful. Ravi Kiran, over to you.
Yes, Sakir. So
Any quote that you
I
want
have
to add?
learned that people will forget what is said.
Hmm.
People will forget what you did, but
Hmm.
people never forget how you made them feel.
Okay.
By Maya Angelou.
Oh, great. So people never forget how they feel.
Feeling is actually the universal language. That's the language which we connect with the universe.
Hmm.
Ultimately, it is the feeling, not the words.
Great. Thank you so much, everyone, and see you tomorrow in the revision session of the 4 book summaries that we have covered in this week. Until then, stay connected, keep progressing, share your thoughts and less comments in the comment below.